A black man just shooting someone in the middle of the day? Oh my God, New Orleans is absolutely horrible. But that clip literally says it's from New York. That is how lazy Tyler is with his content. He is just taking brain.
This isn't lazy either. This is not lazy. This is just lying.
In Sweden is obviously different.
Oh my God, and there's an ISIS flag. Clearly that isn't just a peaceful protest. There have ISIS flags in Sweden. This clip isn't from Sweden. It's from Malaysia. Oh, okay. That's Tyler.
Because this guy did another video. Damn.
There's good stuff happening on the protest side always. You only see the looting of Target. You don't see the redistribution of the goods that they took from Target back to the community. A lot of these neighborhoods are now turning into food deserts where you have to drive 30 minutes to an hour to go get food.
Like, tell me you've never been to a single poor place in your entire life. Like, where do these people live that they have to drive 30 minutes in a city to go and find food? Like, one place in the entire United States where they have to drive 30 to 60 minutes to go and get food. And people are looting Targets to go and redistribute. What are they, eating the shoes? What are we even saying here?
Into hot-button political situations reaches hundreds of millions of people. Now, while Tyler claims his videos raise awareness of the problems in our world,
we are informing people about current events, topics that the broader public needs to be aware of.
Than that he's YouTubeified news and journalism.
We've YouTubeified traditional news and documentarian content.
And while his fans state that Tyler's one of the greatest journalists of our time, that he's unbiased, a searcher for the truth, I'm here to tell you today that this is all a big lie. In my opinion, Tyler pushes hoaxes for truth, dehumanizes people for clicks and views, and manufactures fake videos to sell to hundreds of millions of people as hard-hitting journalism. In my opinion, Tyler only throws gasoline on the problems in America, all in the name to get clicks and views. Today, we are going to expose who Tyler Oliveira really is. Because whether you're left-leaning, right-leaning, you like Tyler, you hate him, I think everyone can agree that a lie is bad. And when those lies are pushed to hundreds of millions of people as the unbiased truth, I would say there's a little bit more than just a problem. Now, normally I don't make exposed videos, but after me and Tyler got into a little Twitter spat, it led me down a rabbit hole of his content that I thought was so twisted and sick that I thought the entire world should know about it. And I'm so surprised that all this stuff I'm gonna talk about has never been mentioned before online. Now, I'm not gonna talk about Tyler's drama with Soft White Underbelly, Brent Riviera, the Las Vegas Tunnel people. Everything in this video is newfound stuff that I've discovered over the past 4 or 5 months. So, before we get going, Tyler, I am not trying to cancel you.
I dream of people come for the cancellation. Bring it. Please cancel me. Please.
I'm not trying to take you off the platform. I'm not even gonna call you a racist, a Hitler, Tyler Oliveira.
I think when you start throwing around the R word, the conversation becomes a lot more difficult.
I'm just gonna call you what you really are, a liar. So today, let's discover who Tyler Oliveira really is. Now, Tyler's journalism consists of him going into hot-button political situations, talking to both sides, and always coming to the conclusion that whatever city he's in, it's ending all of a sudden, that it's the worst place he's ever seen. Now, these videos are seen by hundreds of millions of people. People actually take these in for journalism.
His George Floyd video pushes the fentanyl overdose theory? Wait, really? Wait. I investigated George Floyd's quote-unquote murder. Oh no.
What did you see during the George Floyd riots?
Pass it off basically is that it was gum in George Floyd's mouth.
Interesting.
And there were drugs found, in his car, on him. The autopsy is something that also could have been released. Within 12 hours, the autopsy is complete on George Floyd. Still to this day, the only official autopsy by Dr. Andrew Baker of the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office. And that autopsy shows there's no strangulation marks on George Floyd, no asphyxia, so many things that would also have counted.
Well, no strangulation marks is one thing, sure. No asphyxia.
Strangulation marks on George Floyd, no asphyxia. So many things that would also have countered that video pretty quickly. They have to wait for a little while with the toxicology results. Which
nobody is saying he was strangled.
So, 3 times the lethal limit of fentanyl in his system, methamphetamine. He has very large organs, blockage in his heart. He has a paraganglioma, which is a tumor in his hip. He's been described to me as, sadly, kind of a ticking time bomb. Instead of getting that medical evidence out there, it's withheld, and kind of a ticking tumor in his hip. He's a blockage, fentanyl in his...
Okay, just as a real quick thing, we've gone over this on stream before. I think norfentanyl is a byproduct that's produced or created in your body once you're... is it your kidneys that process most shit? The fentanyl or whatever, norfentanyl, I think is one of the byproducts that's created from that, meaning you've already metabolized some of it. A lethal amount of a given drug might vary greatly depending upon the tolerance that a particular person has to that drug. Anybody that just tells you, this is a liver thing? Okay. Anybody that just tells you that this is the lethal amount, they had this amount, therefore they are dead, that's not how at least a lot of drugs work. So that when somebody says that to you, you should immediately question anything they have to say about anything related to somebody ODing or anything like that. If you look up the fentanyl, LD50 is usually the dose theorized to kill people 50% of the time if you take a certain amount of it. I don't know if there's an official LD 50 of fucking fentanyl. Okay, so like this is saying here, blood concentrations of approximately 7 nanograms per milliliter or greater have been associated with fatalities where polysubstance use was involved. And I think I've seen it even lower than this, right? So when you look at George Floyd's result and you see 11 here, okay, and you say, okay, well, 7 or lower, or I'm sorry, 7 or greater could be associated with fatalities, the inclination here is like, okay, well, obviously this is an overdose and a death due to overdose. However, if you look at the, what do we look for this? Average amount of blood concentration, fentanyl in addict. It's insane how quickly your body, toxicological analysis was performed for all descendants, hold on. Reliability of postmortem fentanyl concentrations in determining the cause of death. Oh, this is a strangely relevant study. Okay. The manner of death included 40 accidents, 36 natural, 8 suicides, 5 therapeutic complications, and 3 undetermined deaths. Among the accidental fentanyl intoxication deaths, 32 of 37 involved substance abuse. The majority of the 37 accidental deaths involving fentanyl were multi-drug intoxications. The substance abuse had a mean fentanyl blood concentration, an average fentanyl blood concentration of 26.4 nanograms per milliliter, okay? That's over twice as much as what's in here, present once he was dead. Now, he had more because you've got norfentanyl in here, meaning some of it's already been converted, but just people that are addicted to opiates can build up, people who are addicted to opiates could build up tolerances to certain drugs, to at least this class of drugs, and probably to a lot of different classes of drugs, I imagine, can build up these tolerances quite quickly and like quite dramatically to where you can take many, many, many times the amount before it's having these like super deleterious effects on you. I wonder if they have data for all of the individual. Jesus. The highest recorded one for a death was 102.2? Holy, is that right? Is it safe to say that there could be some reasonable doubt? No, it's not. Read the suicide number, it's 462. Oh, for the suicide one. Jesus. Honest question, if he wasn't a fentanyl addict, do you think he would have survived? I don't know. That's really hard to say. It could have played a role. I mean, my guess is going to be that all downers are probably CNS depressants. Fentanyl is probably a depressant. If he had no fentanyl in his system whatsoever, he might have been okay. Maybe. It's possible. But that's not like a consideration when you're thinking of whether or not somebody killed somebody, right? Like, if you're fighting a person and you strangle them, and then they also have like a sensitive heart or something or whatever, and they end up dying as a result of that, you can't say like, well, it wasn't because I strangled them, it's because of this other condition. Yeah, these are all things that you have to consider. Like when you're approaching somebody, you don't consider that every single person is in optimal physical health, and if they end up dying because of some complication of another thing due to your actions directly, that's not on you because there's another thing going on, right? That doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. You would never, ever, ever never take this seriously. I was a first responder on the scene during George Floyd's death. I can tell you with firsthand experience that George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. I was leaning on his neck because I wanted to stop it from traveling to his brain. Considering the tolerance situation, does this mean that most ODs come from shock? I don't know. No, probably not. I don't know if shock at all plays into ODing on depressants. I think that a CNS depressant just slows down the communication of a lot of your stuff in your body, like the way that your organs function and the way that your brain communicates with everything. And if you're taking too much of a depressant, a CNS depressant, not something that just makes you depressed, but I think if you're taking too much of a thing like this, I think you just relax and you super chill and you become so relaxed that even your diaphragm relaxes and then you kind of just stop breathing and then you die. And that's like I think that's a typical downer overdose. A downer overdose death is you've just taken so much, your diaphragm just stops working, you stop breathing, you become oxygen deprived and then you die basically. Okay.
System, methamphetamine. He has very large organs, a lot of fentanyl in his system.
I also don't know. God damn, this guy was going crazy. I don't know what the ordinary methamphetamine concentrations in your blood are for ingesting drugs either. I don't know. But like also like I imagine that these methamphetamine, like the methamphetamine would be like counteracting like the fentanyl here too. Like having meth present in your body while you're also doing fentanyl, I imagine would probably make it less likely that you would die from a downer overdose. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know 100% the answer. I don't know. That'd be my guess, but.
System, methamphetamine.
Like at this point, yeah, he's basically sober. I'm just kidding.
He has very large organs, blockage in his heart. He has a paraganglioma, which is a tumor in his hip. He's been described to me as, sadly, kind of a ticking time bomb. Instead of getting that medical evidence out there, it's withheld and released on the same day that George Floyd's family releases their own, they call it an autopsy, but it's really anything but. It's two medical examiners hired by George Floyd's family, and they basically say, George Floyd was a healthy young man, and he died from what you see in the video. Why wasn't the public told that Thomas Lane called for an ambulance 36? He died from what you see. And they basically say, George Floyd was a healthy young man.
So, I don't want to get into all of this shit. Not to like do a whole bunch of random shit, but just because you're addicted to drugs doesn't necessarily mean that you're unhealthy. Depending on the type of drug you do, how long you've had the addiction, and how good the rest of your health is, it is possible that you could have somebody who's addicted to fucking heroin, to fentanyl, to some uppers, amphetamine, cocaine, who is like in general, like they're in relative good health. As ironic as it is, George Floyd did look like he was pretty physically fit. He might have enjoyed general good health, but he was also addicted to drugs. If you wanted to show that he was in bad health, we would have to see like a chart, like a hospital, like something was going on to say that, like he'd been admitted to the hospital with these issues or these were things or whatever. Like, I don't think that...
by George Floyd, it's an autopsy.
I mean, like having a tumor is bad, but... she did mention one thing. Hold on.
That George Floyd's family releases their own, they call it an autopsy, but it's really anything but. It's two medical examiners hired by George Floyd's family, and they basically say, George Floyd was a healthy young man, and he died from what you see.
Like saying he's a healthy young man versus was in good health. I also feel like she's loading that a bit negatively. Although I don't think she's reading from it directly, so.
Basically say, George Floyd was a healthy...
At Destiny, you are so bad faith here. If you didn't know someone had outside complications and they died, it could mean that your actions can't reasonably be considered murder. E.g., if police assaulted someone with a heart condition and they had a heart attack, they couldn't have known. It just depends if they were acting on procedure or not. First of all, don't call me bad faith, dipshit. If you're calling me bad faith, why even type in my chat? I'll just permaban you. Okay, number one. But number two, the issue is that it depends on if your actions were reasonable. So if somebody handcuffs George Floyd and then he has a fucking OD in the backseat and dies, then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, hold on. Like, I don't know if it's fair to say that the cop handcuffing him is the reason that he died. But if a cop is kneeling on him for like 8 or 9 minutes when it's pretty clearly not necessary to restrain the individual, well, now it's like, okay, well, hold on. Like, how many Americans could you kneel on the back of their whatever is right below the neck for 9 minutes and not have them die, right? I don't know. There's probably a decent chunk, like 5 to 15% of Americans who might actually die in that position. Yeah.
healthy young man, and he died from what you see in the video. Why wasn't the public told that Thomas Lane called for an ambulance 36 seconds after George Floyd himself asks to be laid on the ground?
Oh, that's where... Who lied about this? Oh, Tim Pool must have watched Tyler's video. Or is she the one who originates this claim? Why is this all blurred so you can't even see at what part this happens? George Floyd did not ask to be put on the ground and have his neck kneeled on. This is when they were like trying to put him in the car and he was like, oh, put me on the ground or whatever. This is not...
36 seconds after George Floyd himself asks to be laid on the ground. He's a healthy young man, and he died from what you see in the video. Why wasn't the public told that Thomas Lane called for an ambulance 36 seconds after George Floyd himself asks to be laid on the ground?
I just released a written statement, and that was within a day or two after, very brief, that, the officers are cooperating in the process, and let's be calm and not jump to judgment. And I was apparently villainized for that.
Why was that controversial?
I still to this day don't know that answer to that. If you read the statement, there's nothing controversial about it.
So after releasing that statement, do you then become KK Kroll in the public's perspective?
Well, you got to understand, in years past, I had spoken out for officers, under investigation in critical incidents where all the facts were known to me because I had talked with the attorneys, I had viewed the video evidence, and I, in some cases, saw where the suspect had shot at the officers. So I came out and held press conferences and made a much stronger statement, which in hindsight would be better, and most agencies throughout the country have actually the chief of police do that.
The news station you worked with and for, they knew your relationship with Bob early on. Tell me about that as a foundation.
Yeah, so we've been married for several years by the time this even happened. I didn't report on Minneapolis police incidents involving the police union, beyond car accidents or there were crimes and whatnot. But Bob obviously had nothing to do with. Actually, we never really had any issues. It was fine, but it just all blew up that we had some sort of conspiracy, wedding, and I was hiding it from the public as if I was supposed to talk about what my husband did for a living every night while anchoring the news.
Bob's getting crucified publicly.
I'm getting crucified publicly also.
At what point do you get brought into the public spotlight and you become Ava Braun, as you say?
Within days also. Bob had a familiar face as far as pushing back, and it really bothered them that he brought up George Floyd's criminal history, including an arrest that took place that was almost a carbon copy that took place back in 2019 of what happened in 2020. So that was obviously the wrong...
Okay, I don't care about this. It doesn't get processed in your kidneys or some shit. It just ODs you. What substance are you talking about? I think a lot of the stuff that we ingest, I don't think that it directly interacts with your body. A lot of it is called I think the term is prodrug, where when you consume it, the thing itself doesn't interact with you. It's only once you've metabolized it that the thing comes apart, and then there's some reactive substance that interacts with your body somehow. So like psilocybin, I think, has no impact in the body, but when it's metabolized, something is broken off of it, and then it becomes psilocin or whatever, and that's a thing that now it plugs into things in your body, and now you are having a reaction to it. There might be some things that directly interact with you when you eat them, though. I think there is. No, there is. There definitely is, because not everything is a prodrug. I don't know what the difference is, but some things you have to metabolize, some things you don't. Okay, we don't need to go through every video of this guy.
But this is all just the facade. Now let's go to his video, Oakland, where every crime is legal. Now, this video consists of Tyler going to Oakland, California, talking all about the car break-ins and how they've gone up 50 million% or whatever it is.
This is Oakland, California.
Owner of this property is not responsible for...
Up 50 million% or whatever it is.
This is Oakland, California.
Owner of this property is not responsible for any theft or vandalism. Owner of this property is not responsible for...
Lawlessness, crime, homelessness, police giving up.
And the whole video essentially boils down to, if you come to Oakland, your car will get broken into. So just keep that in mind. Now, in the beginning of the video, we see Tyler at a gas station, and we can hear overhead this audio playing.
Owner of this property is not responsible for any theft or vandalism.
Now, if you're at a gas station and they're playing that overhead, it's got to be pretty bad with the car break-ins. So we see Tyler vlogging around, and then we see the next shot of this Kia. And if we look on the...
Damn, where are the speakers playing this? I feel like I've never heard this in my life before. Is it like this in Oakland? It's a rough place, guys. Careful.
Dash, you can see a PS5 with the PS5 controller. Why would someone leave a PS5...
Can you tell me you love me, or do I have to super chat? I love you. Ofek Baron Holes.
...on their dash at the gas station where they're overhead playing, your car's going to get broken into. But let's continue on. Now, in the next shot, we see the same Kia. And if we look on the dash, we can see that same PS5 in the controller. Now, why would Tyler be filming this from far away? Maybe Tyler was trying to bait someone into breaking into this car. That seems like a crazy theory. How could we know that that's Tyler's car? Well, later on in this video, Tyler gets a parking ticket.
While the police may not do anything if you break into someone's car, commit grand theft auto, steal an ATM, or beat and rob an old lady on the street, if you park on the side of the street and don't pay the meter, you will be fined and punished. We got a $61 parking ticket.
And he complains that, wow, people could break into cars and do drugs, but I get a parking ticket. Well, if you look at that parking ticket a little closer, oh, we can see it's the same license plate that is on the car at the gas station. So Tyler went to the store, bought a PS5, put it on the dash, left his car out, and hid out in a little bush trying to capture someone breaking into his car. Tyler is baiting someone into breaking into his car to try to capture it on footage. Because what would make the ultimate footage for Tyler? Oh my God, I went to Oakland, California, and the break-ins are so bad that my car got broken into. And clearly, no one broke into it because who would be dumb enough? Clearly looks like some like cop sting operation shit. This is like levels.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wouldn't you want to park like in a parking lot in a outside like a Target, like in an unlit area or like on the side of a street? Are people, I guess maybe they could, like breaking into windows in like brightly lit gas station things where the guys were, I guess maybe that seems like a spooky place to steal shit from people on, but I don't know.
Of like,
I guess maybe you could go up and try the door because you can just reach in and take it and run.
Prank video times 10. But when you're trying to pass this off as actual news footage, on the ground journalism, I would say that's not something a truthful journalist would do. And after catching this right here, it really made me think, could I seriously trust anything in Tyler's videos? Is this something that a investigative journalist would do, leave a PS5 in one of the highest car breaking areas in the fucking country? I don't think so. Like, what the fuck? Like, and Tyler still used this footage. That's what blows my mind. And didn't think anyone would find this. Like, look at that. It is a PS5 combo package deal with the controller on the dash. How fucking dumb are you? Like, Tyler went to Best Buy and was considering like, could I just get the PS5?
Do PS5s really not come with controllers? Did he have to throw an extra controller on the dashboard? Like, play with your friends if you steal this shit? Get an accomplice so you can both have fun?
No, I should get the PS5 and the controller. Someone would definitely break into a car for the controller as well. So, throughout the rest of this video, just think about this. This is how far Tyler's willing to go to make a good story.
We've YouTubeified traditional news and documentarian content, basically.
Oh wait, but nobody did anybody at least break into his car? At least you got the story, right? He didn't include all this and like not even have a break-in, right?
You bought the controller. Why would you buy the controller as well? So let's go to Tyler's video, Oakland, where every crime is legal. Now, Tyler's videos start out with him flying to the place, checking it out, talking to both sides, and he'll intersperse news clips or relevant news footage of these events happening in that city.
With 1 of every 30 residents having their car stolen last year, 38% increase in robberies, 23% increase in burglaries, and 44% increase in motor vehicle theft.
Because frankly, when Tyler goes to these places, it's not as bad as he always wants it to be. So by Tyler showing all these news clips, it could seem way worse than what it really is. Now, Tyler is passing this along as actual information, that this is actually how the city is. Now, these news clips are always from the city that Tyler's in. Or are they? In this Oakland video, Tyler brings along this prestigious reporter, Darren Stalcup.
I met up with Bay Area native and investigative journalist Darren Stalcup to hit the streets and see what's really going on in Oakland.
Tyler shows clips of him going on Fox News, that he's been all around town investigating the homeless crisis within Oakland, California. Now, this guy isn't a journalist. He's actually a used car salesman who pulled a $7,000 GoFundMe scam a couple months earlier. This guy isn't a journalist. He's actually a used car salesman.
Well, listen, anybody can be a journalist.
Who pulled a $7,000 GoFundMe.
Help Darren move from the Tenderloin. It's with a heavy heart that I'm saying goodbye to my apartment in the Tenderloin. I can no longer live in a neighborhood where I'm constantly tripping over bodies, fecal and needles. Our community has become uninhabitable. This is a humanitarian crisis. My apartment has been broken into multiple times. All of the stores have been ransacked. Living in the Tenderloin has been a traumatizing experience, and it is time to move. However, things are tough, and moving is difficult. He needs $10,000 to fucking move? Okay, Jesus.
Scam a couple months earlier.
I talk a lot about right-wing grifters in my videos, but this week...
Also, I would say, was that really a scam? I mean, it sounds like the guy's just begging for money to move. It's like pretty honest. It seems like, I don't know if I would call it a scam, unless he didn't even move, but...
hosted one that was so lazy. I'm honestly kind of impressed. This guy, Darren Mark Stalcup, is trying to raise $10,000 to move from the Tenderloin neighborhood of San Francisco to another neighborhood in San Francisco.
I'm currently looking at the Chinatown neighborhood, but I'm open to other districts as well.
And it's actually working. I looked into this guy a little more, and he has another GoFundMe, also for $10,000, but this one is trying to achieve world peace. So either world peace is like a lot cheaper than I thought, or, and far more likely, he just wants $10,000.
But let's continue on. So the used car salesman's riding around with Tyler, and all of a sudden he brings up how he's seen kids as young as 7 years old walking around with guns in Oakland. Now that sounds pretty wild. Tyler then shows this news clip on screen.
I don't know why we're being followed when there's no doubt criminal activity left, right, and center.
A lot of the kids have guns now, so when I'm walking around, I'm not looking for some 25-year-old guy with a gun. I'm looking for 7-year-olds with guns.
So when the reporter brings up kids with guns in Oakland, Tyler intersplices a news clip of a teen in trouble that we're led to believe is from Oakland. Because frankly, Tyler doesn't see the kids with guns, so he's got to show news clips to prove that this is actually happening. But what if I was to tell you that this news clip he shows as evidence isn't from Oakland, but from Miami, Florida, 2 years ago? But Tyler...
This is always... Okay, when people lie about this is always what makes me wonder if, like, are we totally fabricating a problem? Like, there must be problems. Why not just talk about the problems that actually exist? Why do you have to make shit up? It's like when people talk about, like, all the illegals that are killing innocent Americans, and then they bring up Laken Riley or whatever over and over again. Like, hold on. Why? There must be somebody new who's dead by now that we can talk about. If there are all these illegals killing all these Americans, shouldn't we have like another mascot? Like, do we really have to go back and yank the Laken Riley chain over and over and over again, there must be somebody else. Certainly somebody, just like statistically speaking.
Tyler passes it off as this is what's happening in Oakland. Even though we can't see the kids with guns, we'll just take his word for it. Teen in trouble. Sounds really bad. But let's continue on. Maybe this is just a little mistake. So Tyler and Darren are talking to a business owner, and they bring up all of the machine guns that are in Oakland, and that's why crime is up. It is so horrible up there. Oakland is so bad that people have machine guns and they're walking around. Mind you, it's California. Like, the gun laws are insane here. And then Tyler shows this clip, a scary black man with machine gun manhunt in the corner.
I believe it's necessary for law-abiding citizens to have the means and capability to defend themselves. As you know, all the criminals out here have guns.
Oh my God, fuck, wait. This is like barely related. Does anybody have, I feel like I watched a video on Twitter yesterday, or was this on my subreddit, where there's a guy in Australia and he's asking like two women over and over again, like, why are you guys afraid to walk on the streets? And they're like, because we don't want to get mugged. And they're like, by who? And they're like, men. And like, what kind of men? Scary men. What do they look like? They're tall. and he asked it over and over again until finally he was like, the women left, and then he talks to the other guy. It's like, it's because of black people, right? And he's like, yeah, Africans. It's like, okay. It was Rome, no? Was it? I don't remember where it was. I feel like I saw this. That's the Tyler Oliveira Poland video. Oh, is it? Oh, link it if you have it.
So I have no problem with you.
Machine guns?
And we're led to believe this is actually happening in Oakland. But this clip isn't from Oakland. It's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Once again, Tyler is literally making shit up to push a narrative. And this is in nearly every video Tyler releases. Let's go to Tyler's video where he goes to Memphis, the most violent city in America. In the beginning, Tyler shows this clip of two scary black men robbing.
Oh, wait. No, never mind.
In a car in a gas station, and we're led to believe this is from Memphis.
This is Memphis, the most violent city in America.
But it's not. It's from Chicago PD. And Tyler even goes out of his way to cut out the Chicago PD in the upper right-hand corner.
Jesus, shameless.
So Tyler...
Wait, it was this. Okay.
Where are you from?
Rome. Italy, yeah.
Do you feel safer as a woman?
Yes, yeah.
Do you feel safe in Rome as a woman? Or Italy, sorry?
No, not at all.
Why?
It's not safe.
Why is it not safe?
Because we don't feel safe, like walking alone at night.
Who are you afraid of at night?
Men.
Which men? Men in general or specific types of men who come from different places?
Men.
Italian men?
Yeah.
Okay, they don't need it. They can buy their own. Why do you think they feel unsafe in Rome? Let's be honest.
Because of Africans. They are afraid to say so.
Where are you from?
Okay.
Deliberately knew what he was doing. Now, normally I wouldn't really care about this type of thing, but Tyler is using all of these violent images and video to pass off a narrative that these places that he visits are so horrible. And it's really being used to just make up shit about the city, because frankly, it's not as bad as he wants it to be. And when you're at the point of having to use random news footage to sell off this narrative...
That guy is the Polish president, by the way. Okay.
I would say that's not really the unbiased truth or investigative journalism. But it doesn't end there with Tyler. In his video, I investigated the gun violence capital of America, aka Chicago, Tyler shows this clip when the man's talking about petty theft in Chicago.
But all the crime down here is just like petty theft, breaking into cars, go to certain neighborhoods.
Now, petty theft is non-violent.
Like, another reason why this is annoying, I've said this a million times, is because I think that we can, we can all agree, we can't all agree because we don't all live in these environments, but it seems to be the case that in San Francisco and in California in general, there was an issue with people downplaying at the very least shoplifting, if not other forms of petty crime. This was a huge issue, and it seems like it was denied for a long time. Everybody tried to deny it. When you listen to Sam Cedar or Hassan Piker talk about it, they'll say like, oh no, the shoplifting is all fabricated by evil capitalists, and they'll point to shoplifting numbers. But then the store owners say like, well, we just don't report it. There was the, fuck, I need to save this story. The shoplifting rates had either stayed the same or had fallen in San Francisco. And then I think like a single target, and the store owner said that we just stopped calling the police because they don't do anything. And the guys have already left and we can't hold them or whatever. And then I think in one Target, they installed like a security button in one Target in the city. And I think that the reported shoplifting for the entire city doubled in that 1 month because of this one store that was reporting every event. I thought it was Target. Was it Walgreens? Oh, it might have been this. This is in, or was updated November 27th, 2021. I think that's around when it was published. Nice. You can probably bring up a million clips of Sam Cedar and Hassan making these exact same arguments. Hassan did it, I think, again during Jenksgiving or whatever, or to Jenk, where he's like, no, that was just capitalists lying about it. As San Francisco remains locked in a fierce debate over how best to respond to crime, shoplifting has become one flashpoint of the battle, dividing people across sharp political lines. But crime experts say the data required to accurately measure shoplifting is woefully inadequate. There is no better example of the problem than the shoplifting data kept by the San Francisco Police Department. Starting in January of 2018, reported shoplifting incidents are relatively consistent at about 250 per month. They dip sharply when the pandemic begins, and then begin to sharply increase as the city reopens, and then in September of 2021, they inexplicably double. A closer look at the data shows that the spike in reported shoplifting came almost entirely from one store, the Target at 789 Mission Street in the Metrion Mall. In September alone, 154 shoplifting reports were filed from the south of Market intersection where the Target stands, up from 13 in August. And then in October, the reports from this intersection went down again to 17. What happened to this particular Target? Did the store see a huge spike in shoplifting in September? No, said store manager Stacy Abbott. The store was simply using a new reporting system implemented by the police that allows retailers to report crime incidents over the phone. When asked why the shoplifting reports had decreased again in October, Abbott said that she wouldn't be able to answer any more questions and directed the Chronicle to the police department as well as Target's media team, which did not answer questions either. Officer Robert Rika, a police spokesperson, Reka, I don't know. So the new reporting system is accessible to other businesses and individuals on weekdays, not just the Target. He did not respond to questions about how long the system had been in place or whether the department had seen an increase in shoplifting incidents from other stores since the system's implementation. Though the spike seen in the data generates more questions than answers, one thing is clear. A single, albeit large and busy, store's decision to report a majority of its shoplifting incidents doubled the entire city's monthly shoplifting rates. But yeah, this is not good, not okay. Not good. But then, like, it's annoying because you can't, because now we're not talking about this. Now we're talking about, like, 7-year-old shooters. It's just so cringe. Whatever.
Crime down here is just like petty theft, breaking into cars, go to certain neighborhoods.
Now, petty theft is non-violent theft that is under $500. It isn't some burglary or mugging or whatever. But while this guy's talking about petty theft, Tyler then shows this clip to almost disprove the guy. Like, wow, he's talking about petty theft, but clearly there's 4 black men robbing a car in the middle of Chicago. That sounds pretty wild. But once again, this clip isn't from Chicago. It's from Houston, Texas, 40 years ago. I can do this all day long. Tyler makes up shit to fit his narrative. And when that narrative is being used as the unbiased truth or journalism, I would say that's pretty bad, in my opinion. But let's just continue on. Or let's go to Tyler's video. I investigated the murder capital of America, New Orleans. Now, Tyler's talking about living a life of crime, and he shows this clip on screen.
A lot of people die due to gun violence. With murders happening every day, countless kids are left without strong parental figures, get raised by the streets, live a life of crime, have a few...
Wow, a black man just shooting someone in the middle of the day? Oh my God. New Orleans is absolutely horrible. But that clip literally says it's from New York. That is how lazy Tyler is with his content. He is just taking random...
This isn't lazy either. People need to use better words. This is not lazy. This is just lying. You can't have B-roll footage of things that aren't even in the city that appear to align with like what you're talking about, right? Imagine if I'm saying that like fathers in Alabama treat their daughters horribly, and I show like a clip of like a mass rapes report or something, but it ends up that clip is just like from a town in Nigeria or like media in like Indonesia or something. It's like, well, it was just B-roll, bro. It's not related to what's being said on screen. Like, that's just wild. Thoughts on Aldi acquiring Winn-Dixie? Infinitely inferior to Publix, in my opinion, but still sad to see Euro slurs agglomerating American business. I don't know anything about Aldi or Winn-Dixie. Fuck both those places. They sound cringe.
Random violent imagery, putting it in his videos and trying to sell it off as this is the truth.
Our goal is simply to educate, inform, and entertain, and hopefully do all 3 at once. Or boots on the ground, as they say, balls deep, trenches thick.
Is this really what a journalist would do? Let's go to Tyler's Sweden video. Sweden, inside the country that pays immigrants $34,000 to leave. Now in this video, Tyler's interviewing a Muslim activist, and Tyler asked the question, is Islam's values maybe not compatible with Sweden?
Islam conflict with Swedish society and Swedish law?
And while the lady goes into Islam and all these other countries, but when Tyler goes to the part of her talking about Islam in Sweden, Tyler shows this video on screen.
The way someone see Islam in
Oh shit, I remember this.
About Islam in Sweden, Tyler shows this video on screen.
The way
You have to go, I don't remember what the cities to the south are though, but you have to go really far south to see this shit in Sweden. It's pretty crazy. What's the name of the... Fuck, I should remember this. Sweden is burning because of this one fucking city that they always cite. Malmo. This is in Malmo, I think, right here.
someone see Islam in Afghanistan or in Somalia or in Iran or in Sweden is obviously different.
And we're led to believe, wow, while this lady is talking about
Iran or way someone see Islam in Afghanistan or in Somalia or in Iran or in Sweden is obviously different.
And we're led to believe, wow, while this lady is talking about Islam being peaceful, they are protesting, oh my god, and there's an ISIS flag. Clearly that isn't just a peaceful protest that they have ISIS flags in Sweden. But once again, this clip isn't from Sweden. It's from Malaysia. And I can do this all goddamn day long, Tyler. It's nearly in all of your videos you are passing this off as the truth. Because frankly, when Tyler goes to these places, it's not as bad as he wants it to be.
Just trying to get like some views on social media. So you have some idea, or do you want to get detained for obstruction?
I think you can detain me, but am I under arrest? If so, for what charges?
Harassment.
You're gonna arrest me right now?
Said you're being detained, sir.
Whoa. That's, you can't do that. You can't do that.
Are you going to identify yourself or not?
Okay, I'm on public property.
Are you going to identify
You can't strong arm me.
yes or no?
We're going to court over this if you want.
And once again, I would just, let me be clear. Is this what a really thorough investigative journalist would do? Be so lazy with the content that they make that they're just throwing in random news clips of, as we've seen right now, only black guys committing crimes, all to amplify the video and make it seem as horrible as possible. Is that what a journalist would do? I don't think so. Now, I know Tyler is intentionally doing this because I backchecked a lot of his videos, and a lot of the news clips are from the city that Tyler's in, and these are just a few of the examples that I found. But trust me, it takes a hell of a lot of time trying to backsource like where these news clips are from, especially when Tyler doesn't show the title or link any sources in his videos. So this is just a few that I found. I can't even imagine how many more there are. Now, beyond using random news clips as actual evidence of all of these cities falling apart, what about the other lies Tyler has in his videos? Now, let's go to his one video. Tyler investigates the murder capital of the world, Jamaica. Now, Tyler makes it a point that it is so dangerous here. It's the murder capital of the world.
This is Jamaica. The murder...
Oh god, I already know which clip this is going to be. It's going to be of the guy in the store stealing the laundry detergent or whatever, and Hassan is like making fun of the cop or making fun of the security guard for trying to stop him. Is that what we're looking at?
Thoughts on stealing of the shampoo from Walgreens? Yeah, I saw this. This is so stupid, dude. Like, just let people steal shit, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you? They're not hurting anybody. Like, that's unironically my take. Like, what is this? This is like actually dry snitching, dude. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Like, are they stealing from you? No, they're stealing from Walgreens. Like, what are you, Mr. Wall or Mr. Green? Like, why are you fucking doing that?
God, I hate him so much. God, he's so fucking stupid.
Capital of the world. That's a big old knife.
So he has to hire a local guy to protect him and show him around. Now, walking around the town, Tyler says this.
The farm? The farm? Right over there. Yeah, okay, where they from? Well, my guide was nowhere in sight. I first thought I was setting myself up to get robbed, but it turns out this guy was giving me a full tour of the community with unexpected hospitality. All right, we're visiting the garden right now. A little baby young mango. Is this where you make the juice?
So I'm thinking, oh my god, Tyler's gonna get murdered. Hey, Tyler's in the murder capital of the world without his guide. Oh my god, he's gonna die, he's gonna get robbed. Seems pretty bad. But let's watch this interaction from a different...
Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. One more son hate watch. Yes. Where the people were stealing, because they wanted to redistribute the goods back to their community. Oh my god, not this one. Fuck. Somebody has it. Somebody please find this for me. Fuck me, dude.
Angle.
Is this where you make the juice?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, so this is what we just tried.
Oh, okay. That's Tyler's cameraman. That's clearly the same thing going on. Where's this camera angle from? Oh, okay. That's Tyler's cameraman. That's clearly the same thing going on. Where's this camera angle from? Oh, it's almost like his guide was right there and took this footage, but Tyler had to sell it off, is that his guide was nowhere to be seen in that Tyler...
Oh, no.
Is this where you make the juice? Yes. Thank you. Oh, so this is what we just tried.
Oh, okay. That's Tyler.
Because this guy did another video. Damn.
There's cameraman. That's clearly the same thing going on. Where's this camera angle from? Oh, it's almost like his guide was right there and took this footage, but Tyler had to sell it off, is that his guide was nowhere to be seen and that Tyler was gonna get murdered.
Well, my guide was nowhere in sight. I first thought I was setting myself up to get robbed.
Tyler's guide posted a 2-hour-long vlog of their entire day, and the guide was there the entire time. Tyler wasn't walking on his own about to get murdered. That was all just made up.
Well, my guide was nowhere in sight. I first thought I was setting myself up to get robbed.
And this is just something where it's so small. But why do you have to lie about this? I walked around on my own in the murder capital of the world. Like, really, Tyler's dissing the guy that he's doing a horrible job and just left and disappeared. But he's right there. He's right there filming this footage from a different angle. You were literally just making shit up to just sell a narrative. That this place is absolutely the most despicable thing you've ever seen. Now, if he's willing to lie about something so small like this, to just really just amplify the violence and the crime in here, when he clearly doesn't see it around him, what else would Tyler lie about? Now, later on in this video, Tyler's walking around Jamaica in a clearly peaceful looking town, and he's... What else would Tyler lie about?
What is this? Am I getting mindfucked by the proportions, or is this AR-15 like really big? Am I crazy? Is the guy smaller, or is it just photoshopped in? Or am I just mindfucked because it's a thumbnail? I don't know. Okay.
On this video, Tyler's walking around Jamaica in a clearly peaceful looking town, and he's asking all these people, how bad is the crime here? Am I gonna die if I walk around here? And clearly, no one's buying into it.
Think we'll die today?
No, that's it.
Not today?
Not today. Today's ugly.
And that's not what he wants to hear. He has to amplify the violence and crime of where he's at. So while Tyler's looking around, he sees this truck, and he says this.
That's what you're talking about. There's bullet holes on that thing. Each side beryllium truck. That's the equivalent of one of the trucks in the U.S. that carries the cash, which means that someone's probably planning to steal from it right now.
Bro. Oh, here's the song clip.
Okay. There's good stuff happening on the protest side always. Like, you only see the looting of Target. You don't see the redistribution of the goods that they took from Target back to the community. Because a lot of these neighborhoods are now turning into food deserts where you have to drive 30 minutes to an hour to go get food.
Like, tell me you've never been to a single poor place in your entire life. Like, where do these people live that they have to drive 30 minutes in a city to go and find food? Like, one place in the entire United States where they have to drive 30 to 60 minutes to go and get food. And people are looting Targets to go and redistribute. What are they eating, the shoes? What are we even saying here?
If you live in those...
Are they redistributing scooters and bicycles so they can go and wheel themselves to a fucking Wendy's? Like,
where you have to drive 30 minutes to an hour to go get food. If you live in those neighborhoods, it's do shit, okay?
Dud.
Nothing happened. Actually, frogs molding you.
Okay? There's good stuff happening on the protest side always. Like, you only see the looting of Target. You don't see the redistribution of the goods that they took from Target back to the community.
Yeah, looting is never okay, though.
So there's bullet holes on the truck, and that means someone's planning to steal it right now.
There's bullet holes on that thing, which means that someone's probably planning to steal from it right now.
That's how bad it is. People are robbing the cars. They're robbing the bank cars. That's how bad it is here. But let's look at that car a little bit closer. Oh, wow, it looks like it was just kind of scratched. Now, I had to look in this a little bit more. The company that owns this is called Beryllium, and Beryllium just bought out a company called Guardsman. Guardsman, they're all based in Jamaica, has red trucks. So would it really be that the car shot up with bullet holes and they're continuing to use it? Or that the car was red, they wrapped it black, and the car scraped against something, and now it's there? Why do you have to lie about that? Why do you have to make up this insane narrative? Oh my God, there was a robbery in place and I was about to... That didn't happen, Tyler. This is all he does in his videos. He goes around and he preponders at the crime and all of these...
Yeah, true. Why would you shoot at an armored truck? That's a good point. I mean, I'm sure people have, but like, what are you, stupid? Bullets are expensive. It's Jamaica.
These horrible cities that he visits. Is that really journalism? Is that really this unbiased truth that you tell? Like these people in this video, the tour guide that you're with, he's just trying to live his life. He's trying to do better. But you come into his country and just absolutely shit on it for like 40 minutes. It's disgusting. I don't know how you could do that. And this guide, if you go on his YouTube channel, all of the comments from underneath his video where he hung out.
Oh, shoot. That's true. This just reminds me of the temple. How many right-wing grifters do this? Fuck. His original Swedish footage. When he gets to his car and the car doesn't turn on immediately and he's like, oh no, did the government sabotage our vehicle? Bro, what do you do? What are you talking about? He tries to lie and say that like the cops are following him here or whatever. God, this whole thing was so cringe. Okay, we want to do
out with you, Tyler, for 2 hours are like, I don't trust this guy. This guy's a snake. This guy made our place look so bad. And the guide is like trying to defend. He's like, no, Tyler's actually a good guy. He helped me get views and subscribers and stuff. And it's like, that's so disgusting that you're making this guy subtly, you know, you're not asking him to defend you, but essentially he's wanting to defend you because you did give him a little bit of clout when you come into his country and just shit on it for 40 minutes. Like, what the fuck, dude? But it doesn't end there. Later on in this video, Tyler is walking around the street of all of the escorts, ladies of the night walking around. And then Tyler sees this restaurant. And Tyler says this.
A lot of prostitutes are here. This is one of the hotels where the ladies get brought to have sex with the customers. The Johns. It is called the Pirate Ship Seafood Restaurant. I guess that's just a front, or seafood restaurant by day, prostitute brothel hotel.
Are their lives really this boring that they're doing danger tourism to feel that they're in a movie? Holy shit. No, all of this is in the service of placating the views that you already have. It's part of that media apparatus, right? So I have a feeling about a thing, and I need like more stuff in my environment to reinforce that feeling. Since I don't ever go there, I don't interact with it directly. So that's So like if you can think of any policy thing, I guess if you're a new content creator, you're trying to find new content, think of any policy thing or description of reality that conservatives believe in, and then think that might be wrong, but then think of how you can make content about it, and that would be like a free 500,000 view video. Like imagine, so what's the thing that we believe that conservatives think that's hard to prove, right? Probably we can say like global warming, climate change, right? So think of like a fucking, okay, well, we think that climate change is fake. They're saying climate change is real. Maybe this is a thing that's hard to immediately prove or disprove. So then the idea would be, let's go to like the hottest place on the planet and see how many people we can film wearing like long sleeve shirts to show that like climate change is fake. And then that would be the whole video. Like, look, they said that the climate was changing, getting warmer, but these people are having no issues. And then you get a couple people just like, oh no, the weather's nice out. It's been a nice season. And then that's your video. And they're like, boom. And then now you're like feeding into the media environment where people are like, well, climate change isn't really happening. I was like, well, what about like all this data? And they're like, no. Like, and now you can pull this out of your memory of things. Like this guy literally went to, Hotistan, where it's supposed to be the hottest city on earth. And those people like are literally wearing jeans and long sleeve shirts. And they said that the weather's fine there. So no, I don't believe that's true. It's basically.
Tell at night, a little bit inconspicuous at first glance, but in actuality, people are getting banged in there for $15 US.
So Tyler just walking around, sees this restaurant and sees that the lights are on and
So do you think this is an example of the trolling concept where people just play a role to gain popularity, or is it part of a bigger scheme? I don't know if I would say it's a part of a bigger scheme. Like the beauty of problem solving for some things is that with a lot of small pieces that have very simple programming on their own, they can contribute to a seemingly much more complex macro environment. So like an ant doesn't know, I think, what a bridge is. I don't even know if an ant can conceptualize a bridge. However, due to like some very, very, very basic programmed behavior, they're capable of constructing bridges out of their bodies to ferry things from one location to the next, right? This like emergent complex behavior is emerging from a whole bunch of like simplistic things that are working underneath. So for these types of media environments, the idea is basically, okay, I know that people think this thing about this place. That's the conclusion. I need to go and film whatever I can so that I can edit a documentary to feed into that, because that's where the viewership is. That's basically what it is, right? If you were to go and film the same thing, like Jamaica, murder capital of the world, or not, and then the whole thing is like, well, here we are, we're actually just hanging out. It's actually pretty boring here. There's nothing going on. No, why would anybody watch that? You're challenging people's preconceived notions. It would only feed into like a fan base that would probably already think that. So people on the left, now your right-wing people are upset and they're going to accuse you of doctoring footage or not showing the truth. People on the left hate you anyway, so why even feed into it? So you're always, when you're this type of human being, you're always shopping for your, you're just trying to build footage around a preconceived idea already, basically. You're going in with the end already in mind, if that makes sense.
Assumes that, oh my God, that's where all the people are getting fucked in there, man. It's just fucking grimy. It's a brothel. It's the dirtiest place you've ever seen. Yeah, that's where it's happening at. Tyler, this is a Christian catering restaurant that does weddings. Why the fuck would you just make up a lie about this? For what? Like, what is the story that you're trying to tell? Oh, how shitty it is? I don't think you have to disparage a Christian catering restaurant for weddings.
Wait,
Christian
what?
catering grimy. It's a restaurant and sees that the light
There for $15 and inconspicuous at first glance, but in actuality, people are getting banged in there for $15.
So Tyler just walking around, sees this restaurant and sees that the lights are on and assumes that, oh my God, that's where all the people are getting fucked in there, man. It's just fucking grimy.
Do you think that it comes off as more malicious than it is, though? Like, imagine being Jamaican and seeing this. Yeah, but everybody views themselves as just like a small cog in the machine. Nobody actually views themselves as having responsibility for the situation in and of itself. They all see themselves as part of a smaller cog that's just like doing a thing, and it's not them who are like responsible necessarily for the thing itself. There was this, the Federalist 15, the Hamilton obsesses a lot over this idea about when people are in groups of people, they act stupid, basically. And how do you counteract that while still having groups of people, right? You have to have a federal government, you have to have state governments, and you need people to act in union with each other, but also factions is what he refers to them as, like political parties, I guess, is what they would become, or things like this. People can start doing really dumb things. But like this diffusion of responsibility is a really important, I think, explainer for how people act in these environments without feeling any sort of moral culpability for what they're doing, right? Like he's just reinforcing an opinion that almost everybody knows is true and everybody believes it's true, and other people are doing it. So
brothel, it's the dirtiest place you've ever seen. Yeah, that's where it's happening at. Tyler, this is a Christian catering restaurant that does weddings. Why the fuck would you just make up a lie about this? For what? Like, what is the story that you're trying to tell? Oh, how shitty it is? I don't think you have to disparage a Christian catering restaurant for weddings and say it's a brothel. And the dumbest part about this is, like, Tyler makes like two things. He's like, one, it's a brothel. Two, it's an actual restaurant. And then it's a brothel at night. Like, you can't just say like, oh, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Which
mob mentality, but then conversely, there's the wisdom of the crowd. So which one applies? These two things are answering different questions. The wisdom of the crowd has to do with, I think, like groups of people honing in on some analysis of a problem that accurately accounts for how most people on average think about it, maybe, or what might be a thought about it, which is almost tautological. Groups of people will tell you essentially on the aggregate what groups of people think about a thing. But mob mentality has something to do with an individual taking action in a group of people or explaining individual psychology. I think these are addressing different things.
We're going to go into that later. That's a whole other can of worms. Either way, in that situation, it's a brothel. But you don't know that, Tyler. The thing is like, this is in a country where they're trying to rebuild, and you're just shitting on the people there for no reason. I'm surprised the guy didn't stop you and say, what the fuck are you talking about? You're literally just making this shit up. Why would you do this, Tyler? Oh, because you're trying to get clicks and views by making whatever area you're in the shittiest place ever.
You're informing people about current events, topics that the broader public needs to be aware of, and I don't even think we necessarily stand for something besides the search for truth and putting things out there on both sides, even if one of the sides is controversial or pisses someone off.
So let's go later on in this video. Now, Tyler's talking to some transsexual prostitutes and asking them all about the business, and you can see his guide right there. And then all of a sudden, two black guys come up to rob him.
Out of nowhere, two armed muggers came over to rob me and my cameraman and barely spared us, only after recognizing Jamaica walk by as he yelled, "Bumbleclat" in the distance. They told us to turn the cameras off, and instead of robbing us, they agreed to be interviewed if we brought them some cash.
Seems pretty scary. So these thugs let Tyler go withdraw cash from the ATM. They literally let them get in a car and go withdraw cash and then come back to the spot.
We're basically being extorted right now in real time to where we have to go get some cash, or we run the risk of Fabian getting murdered and killed on the streets one day for counting them. Let's go get robbed.
So two guys that robbed you at knife point let you get in your car to go drive to the ATM while they stayed there, and then you come back with about $150 and then convince them to do an interview on camera when you're holding a $3,000 camera that you're filming all this with. Who's gonna believe this, bro? Who would believe this? That really you convinced the robbers to give you an interview? Yeah, Tyler, I'm convinced that some guy with a beer gut and a dulled off kitchen knife is, oh my God, they're gonna kill you. Tyler, if you really thought they were gonna kill you, wouldn't you just drive away? Why would you go to the ATM and then come back to try to get an interview? Like, what the fuck are you thinking, dude? Tyler even makes it a point to say, we didn't set this up, we didn't plan this.
So we have to get some cash right now because we spent all of our money interviewing prostitutes, not because we prearranged this, but because they were going to mug us.
Why would you say that? If you really were getting robbed at knife point, I don't know if you would go like this.
Whoa, so that's a big old knife.
I'm getting robbed in 4K, bro. Oh, look at your gun, look at your knife, how big it is, bro. There's no way that actually happened. Now for this one, I don't have any hard evidence of this being fake, but considering that Tyler's willing to fabricate footage and just make up shit in his videos, I wouldn't put it past him to maybe fabricate this entire situation. But what about what Tyler doesn't tell you in his videos? That could be a little bit important too. Now Tyler put out this video, I investigated if George Bush did 9/11. Fucking insane topic.
Wait, what? What did he do? What did that investigation look like?
But let's get into it. Now Tyler says he meets up with a first responder on 9/11.
What if I talk to a first responder on 9/11 who was the New York Fire Commissioner? Let me introduce Chris Joya.
And we're led to believe, wow, this guy fought the fires on 9/11, but now he believes it was actually bombed, that it wasn't the planes. That guy sounds like he has a lot of credibility.
So it's impossible for a building to collapse near free fall speed.
He's like the Dar Man of like documentaries.
And increase
without a controlled demolition.
But Tyler leaves out a couple little details. This guy isn't a firefighter. He's a construction worker who volunteered on 9/11. He's a volunteer firefighter. Tyler says he was there on 9/11.
But what if I talk
volunteer?
I can't speak at all to how New York works. However, I think that there are places where that is how the fire departments work, right? Like it's a volunteer fire department. Everybody works other jobs, but people volunteer for it. So I don't know if this is necessarily contradictory. Like it says Franklin Square Fire Department is a volunteer fire department. Some cities, I think they just have like volunteer fire departments. That's what it is. So I don't think this is necessarily contradictory. He might not know that, but that's fine.
On 9/11, he's a volunteer firefighter.
Kyle McKenzie says New York City is not volunteer. That would make sense though. For super large cities, maybe not. Yeah, but
Tyler says he was there on 9/11.
But what if I talk to a first responder on 9/11
The guy literally says he wasn't there until 4 days after.
You were on site that day.
I was working across the river doing my construction job, and then the fire department got called to duty to assist. Within a couple of days, we wound up down at ground zero.
But
sorry.
This is just small potatoes. Now, during this video, the man talks about the bombing, how they did it, but he doesn't reveal who did it, which would be a little bit important. Now, the man brings up these people did it.
These people that did it don't even care about them.
Who would these people be? Well, Tyler doesn't say.
No wonder so many people died on 9/11. If it took the first responders 3 days to get there, holy shit. Yo, I am an FDNY firefighter. What is that? First District of New York firefighter? No, Fire Department of New York firefighter. This guy is not a firefighter who was there on 9/11. I also don't know if you've got like these smaller fire departments. Are these guys considered first responders? I guess, or no, any firefighter would be a first responder, right? It's not like they schedule their things, right?
The video, nor does Chris Goya. We could go online to this man's organization, the Architects and Engineers for 9/11 Truth. They currently have a federal lawsuit for believing that 5 dancing Israelis blew up the World Trade Center. But Tyler just leaves this
To be fair, they just think they were celebrating it being blown up. Not that they blew it up themselves. Or maybe they do. I don't know. The dancing Israeli thing is such a stupid fucking meme.
Information out. Because clearly, if we knew this guy believed Israel blew up the World Trade Center, we probably wouldn't take him seriously. But I mean, it's all good. It's all in the name of just a little bit of clicks and views. A fun little conspiracy video. And Tyler is so insidious in this video because he's literally leading you 99% of the conspiracy theory, but that 1% of who did it, Tyler doesn't say. So for someone that gets invested in this, you're going to go all the way through, and then if you just go online, you could find out yourself. 5 dancing Israelis, the lawsuit is still happening. But what other details does Tyler leave out? Let's go to his video. I investigated the city where he legally must own a gun.
That's me turning myself into the police in Kennesaw, Georgia, where every head of household by law must own a gun. But does everyone here actually own a gun?
Now Tyler drives down to the town and says, I want to visit the antique store that has the law in writing.
After hearing from the people, I drove downtown to an antique store to see if I could find the law in writing.
So Tyler goes to the antique store, he sees the law in writing, he's talking with the shop owner, they go outside and smoke a cigarette, and then Tyler purchases a bag of assault rocks and a bunch of other items. So much stuff that Tyler needed a bag from this so-called antique store. But Tyler fails to mention some other items this antique store sells. Niglet repellent, a Niglet scalp, minstrel show outfits, and a rack of KKK uniforms worn by ex-members. These are actual photos from inside the store. This isn't a antique store. This is a KKK memorabilia shop that Tyler passed off as a antique shop. Now, do you think supporting a store like this might come off as maybe a little bit racist? A store that literally sells Niglet repellent? I would say a little bit so.
So does that only work on the children? Is that what that means, or?
But Tyler specifically leaves this detail out because he knows it's bad. I mean, hell, he bought so much stuff from this place that he needed a bag to take out everything he bought. I mean, it's just a grand old time at the KKK store, right? He even shows a little freedom flag playing over the shop owner.
Wait, Jesus Christ. I was thinking like assault rocks were like, do you know the things that where you, we called them poppers. Like you throw them on the ground and I thought the assault rocks were like big popper. Are they just rocks? Are they just rocks? Wait, are you allowed to sell rocks? I've never thought about this. If I go outside and I just like take shit from nature and then I just like sell it, am I allowed to do that? Or are you like stealing from like the city? Is this like property of the city or whatever? Like, can I go to like a... This must be illegal. Like I couldn't go to Miami Beach and like scoop up a bunch of sand and start selling it online, right? There must be a law against this, right? What if I started selling like noticeable portions of Miami Beach?
So the lady running the KKK store is now all of a sudden a freedom fighter with some shitty green screen American flag? Tyler, good job. Good job, buddy. Now, am I saying this is racist? No. But you can think for yourself. But the saga of the store doesn't end there. Now, in Tyler's next video, he interviewed the most racist man in America.
This is Harrison, Arkansas, and this is the headquarters of the KKK, causing the widespread rumor that Harrison is the most racist town in America. What would happen if me, a white guy, came down asking the same questions? Could I infiltrate the KKK? And will closet racists be more open to sharing their beliefs with me?
Now, Tyler drives down to the town, and he tries to find this guy who's been in 20 other videos who has, like, KKK connections or whatever. Now, Tyler finds the man, sits down with him, and they're talking all about how much he hates black people and so on and so forth. And in the middle of the video, Tyler pulls out a little gift for the man. Now, Tyler said this man just appeared out of nowhere, that he wasn't planning on meeting him.
In all honesty, we were headed to the KKK. I had no intention to meet you.
But he just had this gift ready to go. And that gift was the bag of assault rocks that he bought from the KKK store and gifted it to the most racist man in America.
Jesus fucking Christ. Why would you even do this? Are you okay, bro?
Automatic assault rocks. That's kind of funny, right?
Oh, yes.
Do you really think supporting a KKK store and then gifting it to the most racist man in America is a great idea, Tyler? Like, what the f are you thinking? And Tyler was so proud of this moment that he took a picture with him and he posted it on Instagram and Twitter and even used 2 separate pictures when he made those posts. And Tyler left this little fact out because he knew it would come across as bad, that he went into a KKK store, bought this rocks, and then gave it to the most racist man in America. Now, am I saying this is racist? But you gotta ask, where does Tyler get some of these jokes from? Let's go to his one video, inside the country that pays immigrants $34,000 to leave. Now this whole video is about Muslims invading Sweden, and Tyler at the end of the video says this.
We should be asking ourselves, what is a society and culture willing to sacrifice of itself to accommodate those it welcomes? And is a kebab stand in every street corner worth sacrificing a country's entire culture?
And alongside in the thumbnail, Tyler has the word kebab right in the background. Now when Tyler equates an entire ethnicity of people to a kebab stand, kebab,
Is this all just like Photoshopped? Is any of this picture real? Like what, this is like a tall, scary man in black who's approaching two precious, beautiful blonde women. This is I don't even know what the fuck this is. Some fucking mosque. And then we've got an outdoor kebab thing where the kebabs are just spinning for the customers to grab them, I guess. I've never seen a kebab stand. Maybe some look like this. I don't know. Usually it's like behind the, and then you've got like this person walking on air back here. This little girl is pregnant, I guess. And then you've got, man, what an adventure. Oh, the burning Swedish flags as well. 3 of them. Okay, nice, base. Jesus. It's like the Where's Waldo of anti-Arab racism.
That's a reference to the popular meme, Remove Kebab, which if you don't know, is about the Bosnian military when they genocided 7,500 Muslims and made a song called Remove Kebab. And this song was played as the New Zealand church crash shooter shot up 51 Muslims in 2 different mosques, and even called himself the Kebab Remover. So I don't know if equating an entire ethnicity of people to a kebab stand
is a kebab stand in every street corner worth sacrificing a country's entire culture.
Maybe comes off as a little bit racist. This is like saying, is a 7-Eleven stand in every street corner worth sacrificing an entire country's culture when I'm talking about Indian people? Tyler, that is a straight up dog whistle. Calling people, is it worth the kebab stand? Like what the Or what about in Tyler's other videos? In this one, Tyler investigates the Venezuelan gangs invading Colorado. Now inside, Tyler's in this apartment building, and clearly it's like falling apart. And he hears a smoke alarm chirp in the background, and Tyler says this.
It's been broken multiple times. You can hear the fire alarm that hasn't been changed. That's a meme.
Well, Tyler, where's that meme from? Oh, it's from 4chan, right here. New dog whistle just dropped. It also is a reference to memes like this. Wow, that is some racist ass shit. Now
okay, this middle picture is pretty funny. But not okay, guys.
Meme is basically that black people don't change their smoke alarms and that they're scared of them. Would a real journalist bring up a insanely racist meme and that when Tyler heard the smoke alarm chirp, that clearly meant that black people live inside of the building? It's all a big meme, bro. Now to Tyler, this apparently is hilarious, but
okay, I feel like that one is a little bit of a stretch. I think it's okay to represent. Now, in the totality of all this other guy's work, that's pretty sus, but
let's see what else makes Tyler laugh.
These people that we're talking to have never had a random YouTuber in a blue jacket show up to them with a microphone and ask them their feelings or thoughts on anything. No one cares about these people's opinions, except when we come out of nowhere and give them an opportunity to speak and share thoughts, ideas, beliefs that they've been waiting their whole lives to share. Yeah?
Black people apparently love to shoot other black people.
You want a business out here?
Yeah, chicken and watermelon.
Where'd the name come from? It's kind of funny.
Be like going down the road, you fucking sand monkey. And that's what I say to him.
I got an automatic assault rod.
Yeah. Now, beyond the funny memes and funny edits, Tyler loves to bring up the hard-hitting journalism, the real questions that people are dying for. Now, I want to bring up another YouTube journalist that does a way better job than what Tyler does. His name is Tommy G, and Tommy G is interviewing some pimps and prostitutes on the street. Now, just to get an idea, pimping is human trafficking. If you don't believe so, go read Iceberg Slim's book, and you'll find out that it is the most horrible shit out there. And while Tommy G is talking to them, he brings up this.
Where do you see yourself on the balance of good and evil?
Straight good. Ain't no evil in me, you feel me? Mm-hmm. Everything I'm doing is out the kindness of my heart. I'm trying to make sure everybody that's part of me, I play my part and we smooth.
You're pimping out of the kindness of your heart?
For surely.
Does that sound like an absurd statement to make?
Absolutely not.
Wow, so Tommy's actually pushing back on what people are saying. It's almost like Tommy G actually has a spine. Maybe he has some conviction in what he believes. But now I want to show you the hard-hitting questions that Tyler asks when he's talking to a pimp, a literal human trafficker.
Did you pull out?
Well, you know one thing about it, man. Hey, man, rubbers is not for suckers.
Do you pull out? That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's
What's your favorite anime?
The hard-hitting journalism that's needed in the world. Do pimps pull out? Literally, you are talking to a human trafficker, and the first thing you think of is,
did you pull out?
And to Tyler, it's really just a big joke. He plays the funny pimp music in the background, and oh, look at the pimp, he's got the funny glasses, and oh, do you pull out, bro? Like, Tyler isn't taking this shit seriously. Tommy G is, actually hitting them with hard questions, pushing back on what they say. Because Tommy actually cares about the content he puts out, really looking for that journalistic truth. But in Tyler's eyes, that question is, do you pull out? Like, what the f***? Now, one of the worst things, I think, is when Tyler went to the USA-Mexico border and investigated the migrant crisis. Now, Tyler goes to the border, he talks to both sides. Basically, Tyler went to the USA...
These thumbnails, bro.
Mexico border and investigated the migrant crisis. Now, Tyler goes to the border, he talks to both sides. Basically, the video is about how when people claim asylum in the United States, they go into these migrant detention camps where there's no food and water, and they stay there for about a week at a time because the Border Patrol system is so backed up. And he even talks to the locals who say that,
we're just locals over here who have banded together to deal with this historic moment that's taking place in our town. The Border Patrol is detaining people in 3 separate outdoor detention sites in our area. We're not providing them with any food, water, shelter, or anything like that. So we've been coming in and filling in that role.
Literally, they've had to give these people food and water because the government doesn't. People have died out here in these camps just waiting to get processed by Border Patrol.
Do you think people would be dying if not for the help you guys have provided?
Most certainly, yes. Yeah. Actually, 2 people have died.
But Tyler rolls upon one camp that was empty earlier and now is full. And when Border Patrol comes to process these people...
I'm gonna see if I get processed. Should probably get my ID though.
Are you part of this group?
Sí, ahora. Okay, I'm gonna be processed.
And Tyler takes up the spot of one of the asylees and tries to get processed by Border Patrol, all as a big fucking joke. Like, what the fuck are you thinking, Tyler? Literally, you took up the spot of someone that was an actual person fleeing their lives as a fucking meme. What the actual fuck are you thinking? You know the Border Patrol system is backed up for years, and you're just adding on to that for no reason at all. And Tyler was so proud of this that he put it in all of his promo for this video, all over TikTok and Instagram. Oh, I pretended to be an asylee and then get processed. Like, this is the most elitist fucking rich kid shit I've ever seen. This is fucking disgusting. And the fact that no one has called you out on this fucking blows my mind.
Well, maybe it was a really good investigative piece, okay?
Now, the Border Patrol guards do catch on to Tyler. They clearly see he's like a YouTuber, and they kick him out of the bus. But what the fuck are you thinking? Would a journalist really pretend to be an asylee fleeing their lives, trying to get processed by Border Patrol, all as a big joke? I don't fucking think so.
I mean, you could be, but it would depend on the type of, like, piece you're making. Probably not for his, of course, but...
Now, Tyler's stuff...
Hold on. This stream segment brought to you by Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Get the tastiest cheeseburger in America today.
Thumbnails have always been a big critique point for him. People have always said they're sensationalist, they have guns and violence and flames, and it's just these crazy thumbnails that aren't actually from the video that he's filming.
A YouTube thumbnail is a compressed combination of symbols that allow a viewer to know what they're gonna be watching as soon as humanly possible. Sometimes they do offend people, and I get it, I genuinely do get it. It's something we're kind of working on, but the videos are often redemptive stories of these people, and the coverage is as balanced as possible on both sides. That's something we strive for.
And I just had this thought. I feel like Tyler's thumbnails are what he wants the city that he visits to be like. I mean, let's take example for a video. Now, when Tyler goes there, it seems pretty peaceful. You know, everyone's talking to him on the streets, everything seems pretty fine, but if you look at the thumbnail, you would get a completely different image. We have this guy with the Gucci bag, and he's all Gucci'd out. We have Swedish flags on the ground burning up. We have people with masks on robbing people in the middle of the street. But Tyler doesn't actually see that at all in the video. But the thumbnail is what he wishes the video would be. Let's go to his George Floyd video. Now, when Tyler goes there, he obviously sees like the George Floyd shrine, he's talking to people on the streets, but what Tyler wanted that video to be was he wanted to see a bunch of cops praying down the George Floyd, but clearly he didn't. See that. I mean, even in his video about the cat eating Haitians. Now, Tyler doesn't ever run into someone holding cats and they're running around and there's flames in the background. He never sees that at all in the video. But Tyler in the thumbnail, he presents there's smoke and there's flames and
Bro, holy shit.
There's cats running around, black guys just holding cats, but he never sees it. And one thing I thought about in the thumbnails is like, most journalists, I don't think, would make a random image of stuff they have never even seen or never even proven to have been seen and present that in the thumbnail as almost as if it's truth. Now, Tyler's thumbnails come a lot from that whole Mr. Beastified type game. And, you know, these type of thumbnails would be fine for like a prank video, like a Brent Riviera video. I had my sister date 100 guys, and then you have 100 ugly guys that are all lined up. But in the video, we never really see that. It's almost like a big caricature of what the video is. And for a video like that, where it's almost like a prank video, typical YouTuber, you're essentially faking the video, that isn't a big problem. But when you're trying to present videos as like actual investigative journalism, like this is what's happening, Tyler never actually sees this stuff going on. But he's always highlighting, he's always making the extreme end of it. And these thumbnails are just the idea of what Tyler wants these cities to be. And I think that really lines up with how he edits the videos, how he uses fake evidence and footage, all in the name to present this fake narrative. And yeah, I'm like crazy sick right now. I just thought that was interesting, so let's continue on. Now, to end this video off, I want to go over Tyler's worst video. Inside the Ohio town invaded by cat-eating Haitians. Now, when Tyler put this out, it got a ton of press. All over Twitter, all over YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
I think we went over this, and there was like just some clearly wrong, stupid shit in it or something, but...
And this video got 47.6 million views across all platforms online. Now, while this video got a ton of good press from people online saying that this is proof they're eating the cats, it also got a ton of criticism online. And when Tyler responded to all this criticism, Tyler said that that video that he made, this video we're going to talk about right here, it wasn't about the Haitians eating the cats. No. It was about a demography shift.
Interesting that in Springfield, the whole they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs is not a conversation point here, nor have I brought that up due to YouTube censorship. And also, I understand that at the end of the day, and even at the core of that video, that's not what it's about. It's about demography shift.
Well, let's see how many times Tyler asked the questions, do Haitians eat the cats?
Haitian immigrants flooded into town with rumors of them eating the neighbor's cats. Haitians are eating cats. Are these Haitians eating cats? Haitians are taking neighbor's cats and eating. The Haitians are eating the neighbor's cats. Rumors of neighbor's cats going missing, getting eaten. Haitians eating the neighbor's cats. Haitians taking cats. Are they eating cats? Haitians are kidnapping the neighbor's cats and eating them. Yeah, no cat eating. Cats are getting kidnapped. Is that true?
Yes, my mom actually seen a post on Facebook. I believe it. Like, I've heard rumors about
The simulacrum. Is it true? Yes, my mom saw a post on Facebook.
them taking the geese and killing them.
I wouldn't be surprised because we used to have a lot of cats around here.
¿Es cierto que personas comen los gatos o no? Bonjour.
You got a cat right beside him.
Well, I've seen a video of a guy getting a Canadian goose, a Haitian dude.
We've lost a whole bunch of cats. There was a van pulled over that had over 100 cats in it with the Haitians. They said they was eating them.
Actually?
Yeah.
Not fake news.
Not fake news.
So, I understand that at the end of the day, and even at the core of that video, that's not what it's about. It's about demography shift.
You couldn't take a picture of it?
So the video that isn't about eating the cats has the thumbnail, do you eat the cats? Hundreds of cats all in the background, inside the Ohio town invaded by cat-eating Haitians. You literally ask everyone in the video, are the Haitians eating the cats? Yeah, I would say that's what the video's about, Tyler. Now, Tyler loves to try to slime his way away from any criticism he receives, but this video was about Haitians eating cats. And you might ask, well, is that a rumor based on anything true? Now, in the beginning of the video, Tyler shows his evidence of the Haitians eating the cats. And we see this body cam footage from a police officer and this lady eating a cat.
Rumors of them eating the neighbor's cats and local geese.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it?
Now, you would think that, oh wow, the lady's black. Seems like, okay, she must be Haitian. Oh, okay, so the Haitians are eating the cats. But this clip is of an American citizen that was literally on a psychotic breakdown that ate a cat. But Tyler is passing this off as the Haitians are eating the cats, and this is the evidence. But then Tyler shows another clip. Now, the rumor then turned into, are the Haitians also eating the gooses? So Tyler then shows this picture of a black man that we see walking with two geese.
Well, I've seen a video of a guy getting a Canadian goose, a Haitian dude.
And we're thinking, wow, okay, so because the man's black, okay, he's Haitian, and then he has two geese, okay, so it has to be Haitians eating the geese now, too. But this image was also debunked. This was an American citizen picking up roadkill on the side of the road, and someone snapped a picture and spread false misinformation like this. Now, this whole video is based around Tyler just asking questions, are the Haitians eating the cats, with no evidence to back it up. Now, this is a common tactic used by conspiracy theorists. So, Tyler, let me ask you a question. I heard your mom was sucking some dong for $50 at the bar, and I had a good friend of mine tell me that they saw her in the car sucking some dong. Is that true, Tyler? Does your mom suck dong for $50? I can tell you an insane conspiracy theory based on no evidence, present it as a question, and it almost gives it some validity.
Aliens built the pyramids? You think it's possible George Bush did 9/11?
Wait for me right now.
Oh, who are you afraid of at night?
Men.
Which men? Men in general or specific types of men who come from different places?
Like that man.
If he was black, would you guys date? Bonjour.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
You speak English, French?
How disrespectful is that?
You had a kid who was 5 years old and they said, Daddy, I'm a guy, but I think I'm a girl. What would you say?
How does it feel to facilitate more deaths via secondhand obesity?
You are trespassing. Leave my building now. Leave the building now.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to give me the answer, you tell me what answer I'm going to give you.
No, I'm just asking a question.
And Tyler knows that. But if you were to push me back on that, like, bro, my mom doesn't suck dong for $50. Oh, well, I'm just asking a question, man. Don't get mad at me. That's what Tyler's doing here. Because this whole thing of Tyler asking people if the Haitians eat the cats, let's think about another equivalent. This is like going up to Asian people, point blank, and saying, I heard on Twitter that Asian people are eating dogs. Is that true? Tyler doesn't have any social brain to maybe think, maybe that might not be an appropriate question to ask. Why did no one else make this video on YouTube? Maybe because it's a little bit racist. Now, Andrew Callahan, Channel 5, he runs another channel that Tyler essentially ripped off from and made into his own thing. Does the same thing. He goes boots on the ground, does journalism. And Andrew even made it a point to say that he would not be coming to Springfield to ask people about the Haitians eating the cats.
By the time I wrapped up my report in Colorado, the front lines of the migrant hysteria crisis had already shifted fronts, from Aurora over to Springfield, Ohio, where Trump and J.D. Vance claimed that Haitians were eating cats.
They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
A claim that was debunked by the mayor, the state.
Bro. People walked away thinking that Trump won this debate. They really, truly did feel this.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
and basically everybody else. After the presidential debates, my inbox was flooded by emails saying that Channel 5 should go there. But guess what? I'm not going. I'm not going to follow every shitty thing that Trump says about migrants across the country and feed the algorithm they've created by lying.
But Tyler doesn't care because he knew he was going to get mad views on this. And he clearly did, 47.6 million views. Now, this video is a whole can of worms in terms of the whole just asking questions things. And what's really like annoying about all this is that it could only take Tyler a minute to spread misinformation, but it takes an hour to debunk it. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire video and all the little details about it, but essentially this whole just asking questions things, this is in nearly all of Tyler's videos. And the Springfield video is the creme de la creme of it. And like, it's one thing to let people speak about what they think when you ask them a question to make themselves look dumb, but when Tyler doesn't push back on anything they say, it's almost like he's kind of, not co-signing, but almost like, okay, there is some evidence to this, but there's absolutely none.
There was Haitians in a white van driving around the neighborhoods collecting cats.
For what?
Skinning them and eating them.
So a van was collecting cats and eating them.
I watched it happen, yeah. Watched them get pulled over with the cats and admit to the police that they was eating them.
You're not joshing with me.
No, I'm almost 50 years old, buddy. I don't, no.
See, a real journalist would push back on what these people say. When people talk about, oh my God, I saw the police, the cats in the van and everything, Tyler could have gone down to the police station and gotten the police report if this guy was for real. But Tyler didn't, because he just wants to take this guy's rumor and just spread it on as it's actually fact. And Tyler knows that if he ever gets pushed on this, he could always go back to the whole, I'm just asking questions, bro. But Tyler doesn't care about fixing the problems that he so often shows the world, because the dollar at the end of the day is Tyler's goal. And his incentive is to highlight and throw gasoline and incentivize as many of these problems as possible because it gets Tyler as many clicks as possible. This video took about 4 months to make, and I only went through a few of his videos. Now, there are so many videos that are based in the same format online that I think a lot more debunking needs to be done. A lot more of this just misinformation, hoaxes, and just made up shit needs to be taken down because it is so harmful to our platform. If we're really trying to have actual truth-seeking journalism, really try to show that. Because everything I've showed you today is anything but that. And I would just ask you one last time, is all of this stuff in this video something a real journalist would do? Thank you for watching.
Not cool. Funny Hassan hate watch moment.
I guess when you frame it with elites rather than capital-owning bourgeois or whatever, oh my God, you're becoming jank? Yeah, totally. This means I agree with right-wingers and not vice versa. I think I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum, where right-wingers are agreeing with me. I'm not agreeing with right-wingers. I am noticing contradictions that other people are also noticing and using that to describe my worldview in a way that people can comprehend. This is what I do. It's called agitative propaganda. Okay? That is the major difference here.
Just as a quick, I guess like to draw some distinctions around what people are complaining about. Okay, so remember, we're on our emotive arc, okay? When people say things, we have to figure out what they're actually saying. When conservatives complain about school or college, they're not actually complaining about college. They're complaining about far left teachers and kids, and they're complaining about what they perceive to be as useless and far left degrees. If you talk to a conservative and you go like, hey, I want to go to college to be a mechanical engineer, conservatives aren't going to tell you, oh, don't do that, go be an electrician, or oh no, skip that, you're going to become wokeified. They'll say, good job, go to STEM. That's what they'll always say. So, yeah, conservatives don't mind the concept of going to school and getting an education. They're just like very much like, they're very much like solely career oriented around it and like STEM career oriented around it for whatever.